You think you know Dracula? The name chills. The image is everywhere. But the truth isn't what you've heard. It's deeper, older, and it's been waiting. Blood, fangs, the monster in the shadows. But behind the myth was a man, a prince, a warlord, a symbol of fear and justice. His enemies called him a butcher, his people a protector. He impaled thousands and terrified one of the greatest empires in history. This is the real story of Vlad the Impaler. The man who became more than legend. He became eternal, not through stories, through fear, through fire, through the silence left behind when enemies disappeared and no one dared ask why. In the 15th century, Eastern Europe was a battlefield. Kingdoms crumbled, faiths clashed, power shifted with every sword drawn, and at the heart of the chaos stood a land no empire could tame. The Ottoman Empire advanced like a storm, devouring kingdoms. Wallachia, Vlad's homeland, stood between Christian Europe and the Islamic East. For centuries, it was a shield and a target. Armies passed through, but few understood its people. To survive here, you needed more than courage. You needed teeth. It was a land of betrayal. Princes were killed. Allies turned enemies. The throne changed hands more than a dozen times. Vlad was born into this chaos, the son of Vlad Dracula, a member of the Order of the Dragon. His father believed in honor, but ruled through compromise. That would be Vlad's first lesson, and the first betrayal he would never forgive. At 13, he was taken hostage by the Turks. He returned not as a boy, but as a weapon. Vlad didn't rule with words, he ruled with fear. His favorite punishment? Impalement. Slow, public, and brutal. It wasn't just torture, it was theater. A message carved in flesh and silence, watched by thousands and remembered by everyone. He lined entire roads with the bodies of traitors and invaders. Over 20,000 corpses were left to rot, a message to anyone who dared cross him. But was he mad or methodical? In Wallachia, theft vanished. Nobles obeyed. Even the most feared empire in the world, the Ottomans, hesitated. Justice was swift. Mercy was rare. The law was his name, and his legend kept it alive. Vlad didn't crave blood. He craved order, and he got it through terror. Centuries after his death, Vlad was reborn. In 1897, Bram Stoker gave the world Dracula, a vampire count, a creature of darkness. He borrowed Vlad's name and just enough blood to make him immortal. But the man was more terrifying than fiction. Dracula drank blood. Vlad made rivers of it. He didn't vanish at sunrise. He ruled in daylight, with iron and fire. His horror wasn't fantasy, it was policy. From books to Hollywood, the image spread. Fangs, castles, bats, and eternal night. But hidden behind the cape was a prince of war. A ruler whose legend needed no fantasy to endure. Vlad the Impaler died in battle, decapitated by his enemies. But death couldn't kill his story. In Romania, he's a national hero. In the West, a monster of myth. One sees a savior, the other, a nightmare. Truth lives somewhere in between, blurred by fear, history, and power. Some see justice, others see terror. But no one forgets his name. He was a question no one could answer, a ruler no one could imitate. A story that refuses to die, whispered in fear, and remembered in fear. Vlad didn't just defend a border. He forced history to remember him, not with books, not with titles, but with terror burned into the land. He built a legacy not meant to be admired, only never forgotten. And centuries later, we still do. Was he a tyrant or a necessary evil? Tell us what you think in the comments. And don't forget to follow History in 60 seconds. More truths are waiting to be revealed.